Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I've been asked to do a little bit of yoga, show you a little bit of yoga poses for our next challenge. Thank you, Corey. And full disclosure, I am not a yoga instructor, okay, but I've been doing this for a while and it's part of my regular exercise. So I'm going to show you what we do or what I've been doing. So the first thing that we typically do is a stretching out. A lot of times instructors will have you just kind of sit, shoulders over the hips, take a couple of breaths. Sometimes they'll have you warm up the spine a little bit. So they'll have you take your left hand, put it on your right hand, put it on your left knee, take your left hand behind you, kind of stretch your core a little bit. Also on the other side, left hand to right knee, right hand behind, you're stretching out your core a little bit. Additionally, they will have you do some stretches. So one of the things they have you do is child's pose. So here you're relaxing the hips all the way back. Make sure you can see me here. And then come back up to like a cat-cow. Let me just pull this down a little bit so you can see a little bit better on the floor. Then they have the cat-cow stretch. This is where you're kind of stretching your core a little bit as well. So you take what's called the tabletop. So you have your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and you can have your feet kind of flat. Some people curl it under, and the cat is up here. So you're pushing down, you're stretching up, and the cow is where you're pushing down and you're stretching your core up this way. Cat, cow. And then sometimes they'll just have you go back into a child's pose again. Here. Head down, relaxing the hips back. So a lot of times they'll come back to tabletop, have you come back to a downward facing dog. So the first time we push back up, we breathe, and this way we're pushing the hips up, we're pushing the heels down. Let me give you a little bit of a side version here. And a lot of times to get that stretch, they'll have you pedal the legs a little bit. This is pedaling the legs. It stretches it out. You do it slowly. You can breathe in. Okay. Then we start to go for the first vinyasa, which is breath to movement. So these days, what they'll do is they'll have you say raise your right leg, okay, one leg, and open up the hip. So what you're doing is you're moving your leg over here. See how you're opening the hip, getting a little bit of a stretch. Coming back up here, okay, what they call the three-legged dog. And a lot of times they'll have you work the core, maybe knee to elbow, to kind of stretch a little bit too. Knee to nose, I can't really do it. Okay, knee to the other elbow, see your core there and hold it. Back up. And then they'll have, move the leg here. This is a low lunge. Okay, see how we're kind of low here? So the knee is between the two arms. You're kind of in a low lunge here. And from here, we might take a high lunge or what's known as a crescent pose because you're kind of in the shape of a crescent, right? So from a crescent, a lot of times they'll have you come back here for like an airplane stretch and then come back here. So then we come back down to a lunge. Back to maybe a plank. This is a high plank. Remember we did this. Coming down to a chaturanga. Coming up, the ankles come over, and we kind of stretch out here. We're stretching. Very good way to stretch out the hips in the back. And then come back up here. And now we're back in downward facing dog. So now we go the other side. Left leg up. Stretch that hip up. About. Coming knee to elbow, knee to nose, stretch the back, come back, Knee to opposite elbow. Come back to what they call three-legged dog. And again on the other side, foot between the two hands, and now we're in a low lunge. Come up here to a high lunge, crescent lunge. Maybe back to an airplane, or airplane, and then come down, and once again back here. Once again from a plank to chaturanga or a low plank. Up here, breath to movement, breathe in, breathe out, come back, up here, up high, and we're back into a downward facing dog. So now we get a little bit more into it. Right leg comes up for more of a three-legged dog. Come back here. Now we start to get maybe into warrior poses. So let me go side here a little bit so you can see it. So we kind of twist the foot here so we're down a little bit. And we come up, it's a lunge, but this is warrior one. Warrior one, where you see the back foot is at sort of a 90-degree angle with the heel flat on the ground. And we've got the foot facing forward. This is our warrior one, arms up like this. And a lot of times we'll come down, and this gets a little complicated if you want to get a little technical here, because sometimes we'll go right maybe into an airplane. Say airplane pose, arms forward. Now we've got a warrior three. Come down here, and this is called the half moon pose. So we've got the right leg here, the right arm here. This leg is out, this arm is up, and if you can balance, you look up. We come back, we come down, back to a low lunge. Come back here, then put the foot back, again, down into a chaturanga from a high plank. Up, breathe in, back down to a downward facing dog. Other side, coming up, leg comes through, between the arms. We turn the right foot now so it's facing at a 90-degree angle. We come up. Now we're in a warrior one on the other side. Again, we come forward, airplane pose. This is a warrior three on the other side, half moon again, here. And we're balancing this way. Come back down here. And again, we're back. I'm not going to go through that because you're seeing it, back into a downward facing dog. So now we've also got the warrior series. We bring the right leg up again, bring the leg through, and now we kind of windmill. We turn the left foot to a 90-degree angle, just like before when we did a warrior one. And we come up here, we kind of windmill the arms, and now we're in what's called a warrior two. So let me get back a little bit so you can see it. So we've got a stance, we've got the front leg facing forward, we've got the back leg with the heel going this way, they're at a 90-degree, and we're here. Reverse warrior is here, nice stretch on the side and the hip, come back here. And we can take kind of a side, an extended angle. So we come back down here, and the arm can be either on the inside or the outside. I've been seeing more instructors keep their arm on the inside. And we turn here, we take this arm, the upper arm, and we're out here. This is an extended angle. So we come back here, maybe windmill the arms again. Leg comes back, and we're back into our vinyasa. High plank, coming down to chaturanga. Upward dog, downward facing dog here. Again, other side. Leg comes up, in between the arms. Back heel twists to a 90-degree angle from the front. Windmill the arms. And we've got kind of a warrior two on the front side. Again, reverse warrior. Down with an extended side angle. Coming back up. Windmill the arms here and down. Another application is where we come back up. We're in a downward facing dog. We come here, and maybe we want to bring this foot up here. We come into a chair pose. And there's a lot we can do from a chair pose, like you're sitting on a chair. Me, once again, you're here. I don't like this because it kind of puts a lot of stress on my back, so I try to come up a little bit more like this. See? Now, another way of doing that is when you come back here, when you're maybe in an airplane lunge like this. Okay, a lot of instructors will have you just move the other leg up and then come up like this. Maybe come back in a sweep, kind of a chair airplane like this. See? So that's one way to do it as well. So here we are, kind of at the end, and let's go through a vinyasa. So we come down, so we come back up, and we're in kind of a, as you know this to be a kind of a mountain pose, kind of where you're standing at attention a little bit. And I'm sorry, my head's a little out of frame, but we come up, and try and get a little bit here, and we come up here. Let me move back a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. All right, so I'll move this a little bit more too so you can see. So full vinyasa is when we come, I'll get it right. When we're standing in mountain pose, we come up, we come down for a forward fold. Now we do what's called a monkey pose, where our back is flat here. We step back to a plank, chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, and we come down. Now there's lots of variations we can do for different stretching poses. One is called pigeon. Bring our foot here, I don't know if you can see that. The foot is kind of tucked in, and we might want to come up straight. Sometimes we come down like this. Okay, other side. Foot comes here, gets tucked in, and we can come forward a bit. Another pose that's very good it's called a camel pose. So let me pull this down a bit, because we're coming into kind of a cool down. So we're here. We might want to lean back a bit, touch the ankles, come up like this. And I'll do it on the side so you can see it a little bit better. So from here, we come down here. See? So that's another way. Typically, when we're in the cool down phase, a lot of instructors will do some type of spinal. So we can also do kind of a boat pose. And as you see, we call it a boat because it's like you're pedaling a boat. You've got your legs up, you're like in a V. Some go into a low boat down here, come back up. And then you come back down. You've got happy baby pose. Bring the legs up here like this. You can rock side to side a little bit. Just grab your feet. You can hold your feet here. You can come to one side here, stretching the spine out. Other side here, up here. Another pose, another relaxing pose, is where we have like our butterfly pose. Stretch out the hips a bit, kind of grab the legs a little bit, and kind of come forward a bit. We take this, we move this over. Excuse me, I'm a guy, I got something there. So you get this down here like this, take the arm around. You got kind of a twisting pose there. Okay, other side. Come here, leg goes around. This one comes on the knee. And you go to your degree of comfort. Some people can do this, some people can't. If you can't, you just come here. Or you just do what you can. You don't want to push it. And then finally, we just come down. Maybe take the legs up. And again, side to side. Stretch out the core a bit. Then we end up in Shavasana, which is our final resting pose. Used to be corpse pose. More and more people are calling it a final resting pose. Little bit of, I don't know if you call it politically correct, but kind of easier to handle. So those are poses that I do kind of in my practice that I've learned over the years. Hope it helps. Thank you for the opportunity, and we will be talking soon.